Welcome to BatYard.
Welcome to the Josh and Matt Dynamic Duo, guest star Dan Chester.
That's me!
We're going to be discussing Rampage. And how that movie was pretty awesome and all that stuff. You want to start it off?
Yeah. Right off the bat, I liked it. I thought it was really good. I think when the movie got over, Matt and I rated it about an 8. So.
Yeah, about an 8. But the funny thing you want to hear, the shitty thing is, I looked on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 51 splat.
Oh.
Thing. Not garbage, it's a splat. Then it has like, what is it? It's like a 4.5 out of 5 good tomatoes on like this other side, like the community, just regular people and all that stuff. So I don't understand Rotten Tomatoes. I really fucking hate Rotten Tomatoes. So like it doesn't make sense to me. So like why rate?
I think it wasn't like a masterpiece of a movie, but I think that it was very enjoyable.
It grabbed the concept to a game that didn't have a fucking concept. You ran around and you destroyed buildings.
Right, and that's
they made a story and everything.
Yeah, I love the story. It was like just enough story. You know, there's a space station that has secret genetic alteration projects going on, and it blows up, and you know. You failed to mention there's a fucking giant space rat on it. Due to that, this is what makes me want to think there's gonna be a second one, because the second, if you play Nintendo 64, there's Rampage World Tour. Oh no, yeah, it was World Tour. Then there's Rampage 2, Universal Tour, and that had as the main character a rat. So I was hoping that rat's in space. It's still alive probably, and it's gonna come back. I was convinced that like all of the Rampage was gonna happen, and then the rat was gonna come up and be like, "Motherfucker, I'm alive." You know?
I was like you saying like that. I was expecting like during mid battle of the movie, like at the end there, just like just see like a meteor just come out of the sky, just like. This impacts right in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, for like hinting at a sequel, or for that's what would happen in the movie.
Well, like the funny thing is like they have containers. She only took 3 or 4 containers. Mm-hmm. There was like a shit ton in that drawer.
Yeah, definitely.
And they built those containers to withstand re-entry into the into the freaking Earth's atmosphere and shit. Mm-hmm. So like. When you think those things would survive an explosion, at the time being, and re-entering.
Yeah, you know that the sequel's gonna start off where there's gonna be these bad guys. They're gonna have their own name, like Kronos Industries, and they're gonna have a space station. They reach out and grab the little canisters, and then you know come bring them back down to Earth, and then there's gonna be huge monsters, bigger monsters than before. Something like that's gotta happen.
I'd be fucked because George can't handle that shit.
He's gonna get bigger.
He's the smallest one out of the group.
He's gonna eat You're saying he's gonna eat the radioactive stuff, and he's gonna.
No. Radioactive. Okay, in the game, if you ate radioactive shit, you threw up. If you grabbed explosive, you blew up and got damaged. Then if you found someone in a bathtub, you can eat them. If you found I think there was a food symbol, like a hot dog or something like that, chicken, you can grab that and then you can eat that to gain your health back and shit. And this movie did not have any of that. I was so sad. No, I'm fucking around. They don't need that in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they had the Rampage arcade machine in the room. They had some Easter eggs.
Yeah, they had that was hidden inside the evil corporation's freaking upstairs office, I think it was. Mm-hmm. It was just chilling there. It says Rampage. I was like, oh shit, they're doing it. They're putting. I said this in our first podcast together. It was Jumanji. I don't look for marketing and all that fucking bullshit. This time I tried, and I found a lot of things. Well, not that much. I found 3 things. Yeah. Rampage, it was a Ford, and there was... Fuck, what was the third one? No, I can't remember the third one. Help me, Dan.
I don't remember.
You don't remember the third one? Alright, fuck it. But giving like the story, going back to like Rampage, the movie and everything, from like them actually establishing a storyline to it, like making it like straight up like it's The Rock and George are best friends. They live at the Joe Rock works at the freaking what was it, the sanctuary, the gorilla sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, animal sanctuary. The whole thing had like grizzly bears, like wolves probably, all that bull, and gorillas.
Yeah, just wildlife.
Yeah, just wildlife shit. And they did the whole thing. They knew each other, and later on you learn the backstory how George came to be at the sanctuary with The Rock killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's fucked. Fuck.
Yeah.
But you end up like knowing that like they're actually cool. It's not like some random gorilla that just gets like smacked dead in like, what is it, like Africa or South America, wherever the gorillas like to stay and all that shit. Instead of just like finding this random one that just runs across countries to come to Chicago, it's literally just like, it's here in San Diego. San Diego
sure.
Wildlife Sanctuary.
Sure.
I believe it was. Don't worry, we'll look it up. It'll be here somewhere. But
yeah, I thought it was cool too how when they were entering the sanctuary, they didn't tell you that it was a sanctuary. You kind of felt like it was Jumanji.
Oh yeah, it didn't. It
you
really
thought
didn't.
that you were in the rainforest, and then
Jumanji too.
right, and then you know the title comes up and it says sanctuary, and then you realize, oh, they're in a safe place with it, you know.
Funny thing was like that new guy, the intern, ends up basically shit himself, crying and pissing and all that stuff because George was trying to be a prankster, but ends up being an asshole.
I thought it was cool the personality that they gave George. He was sarcastic. You know,
he was actually. It was the funny thing, they gave him like human like personality instead of being just like.
I think ever since Planet of the Apes, we've been here to understand. You know, we understand how apes can like learn sign language. We're all comfortable with that now. You know. So this movie sort of played right off of that. You know, George knew how sign language.
Well, it would work. It would make it work better and everything. Just instead of just having a standalone ape, just chilling there the whole time, not really communicating, just grunting. Instead of George is like doing his shit motion to you, and you're like, oh, he actually knows how to speak to people instead of being just that animal. But then like, I love. Then you meet. The thing is like they didn't really. The other animals that get mutated, the alligator, Lizzie, that's his name in the game. It's Lizzie, and it's supposed to be a female. We never known in the movie if it's a dude or a chick.
Sure. Then
later on, was it the wolf Ralph? They really didn't establish shit. We don't know. The things land in their areas. Lizzie eats one and then turns into the massive, giant alligator, shark, boar, dragon thing.
Yeah. Dragon DNA in there.
Then you get what's his name? Ralph ends up just slaughtering his whole family after getting ingested with this.
Yeah, the way they
chemical.
introduced Ralph was amazing, and the way they introduced Lizzie was amazing.
Well,
both were super action scenes, and when you first got to see the monsters, you got to see how huge they were, and they're badass.
I enjoy Ralph's introduction way more. It's just like you don't know anything's happening. Like the company that made it was what was it? Energy something.
Yeah.
It'll be down here. I'll look it up again. I'm sorry. They have like a special Black Ops team that was going out there to fix the problems in case of anything, all that, find the canisters, and they end up finding that Ralph killed his whole family and others, and they end up finding him in the woods and shit, and they have a giant action scene. This movie should have been rated R. if you wanted to see the true power of Ralph.
Yeah, there's one part where you saw a bunch of bodies, and you knew there was blood, and they showed like a split, like a couple frames of some dude in half. At least that's what
it was like.
That's what I saw.
It was more than just a dude in half. It was multiple people.
It was also.
It was like the squad was left there. All just
I'm sure if it was actually like a lot of these movies are inspired by like stuff from the 80s, you know, and early 90s. I wish that they would just go back to having like rated R movies where, you know, if they just weren't afraid to exclude the market and just make it rated R, you know. We would have got to see just a little bit more stuff, and like a little bit more cursing, you know. They cut away before saying, you know, motherfucker at the end.
Well, George always flipped off the camera the whole time.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
He just kept going with that finger. He loved that finger, even though as giant form and little form, he flipped off people like no
It was
tomorrow.
funny. Yeah, I think that there was also like a willingness to kill off all the characters, like anybody. And it starts right off of the bat, right in the beginning. We get to see we follow our first character that we're introduced to. You know, she's in the station, and she's the first one to die. You know, it's willing to kill her, and then a lot of people die throughout the movie.
It was just nonstop death.
But I thought it was cool. I mean, it's a movie called Rampage. You want to have these characters. Like, I kind of hate it sometimes when the characters just stay alive, and you're like, what? I like it being introduced to a Black Ops guy, you know, and he's like cool, and he's got this team. You're expecting him to come out alive because he's so cool, but nah, he gets eaten by the wolf.
Oh yeah, that Joe. Have you ever seen the end credits for Justice League? He's the Deathstroke guy. And have you seen the new Pee Wee Herman movie? He's like Pee Wee's new best friend.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's in it. He's just literally he's like a big kid for some reason. I didn't like the new movie, so I stopped watching it after I started seeing that shit happening.
Yeah.
But it was just
weird.
That guy. He's in it. I thought he was gonna be this dope Black Ops guy. He's gonna survive the wolf attack and end up being there with The Rock at the end of the movie, but no, it ends up the wolf is just like does that whole creep up slowly and just murders the shit out of him. But he knew the wolf was kind of there, but we didn't know the wolf was really there.
Yeah.
Unless you saw the drool coming down.
We saw this movie in 2D. And there's definitely moments like that, which I think would have been really good in 3D.
There's a lot of shit in 3D.
Because I think that the teeth came forward.
Oh,
you know,
a lot
that would
of
be in
that.
your face. And when there's like body parts and stuff flying in 0 Gs in the beginning of the movie, like all that stuff is genuinely visually interesting in 3D.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to go because I'm like, no reason to go.
I went to see...
This movie really seemed like there was cool stuff.
Yeah, I saw Clash of the Titans is when they really want to bring out that real 3D shit. And I saw it was like Liam Neeson just coming off the screen like a couple more inches at me. Like, I can touch him.
Avatar was cool in 3D, but they had so much... Every shot was sort of planned so that there was like, you know, leaves or like that one scene when everything's ashes and just the ashes were floating past your eyes, you know? It was
well, if you plan the movie right to have your 3D moments, it's gonna work. If you don't plan your movie to be 3D at all and just have a 3D camera on set, nothing's gonna fucking work.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this movie was planning to be 3D. It wasn't. I don't know if it was marketed that way, but
I don't know. I didn't see a 3D marketing.
I would suggest seeing it in 3D.
Yes.
Let us know how you think.
Yeah.
What you think? How do you like it?
One character I did like is the guy, the cowboy. He is.
Yeah, he was.
He is a government agent, but he won't tell you what he's from.
Yeah, he said the OGA.
Yeah.
What is it? What's that?
Government.
Other government agents.
Yeah, I liked his character because he was just like that guy that's just there, and he's supposed to clean up everything, but he's like just an asshole, and you always need that asshole. And he works. That actor is well known to be an asshole in every fucking thing he is.
Yeah, he's known. You know, he was the comedian in The Watchmen, and then he was the president in Walking Dead. What was the guy's name?
Dude, I don't watch Walking Dead.
Well, he was in The Walking Dead. He's the guy with the bat that fucks people's heads up, and there's a million of them at Comic-Con.
Yes.
That was him. So he's known as being like this guy that will kill you, without thinking. And that's who he was in Watchmen.
Well, if you guys are Supernatural fans, he is the father of Dean and Sam in the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
there's this scene between Dwayne The Rock Johnson and that guy where they're both like sort of stare each other down. They get in each other's face, and it's like, wow, yeah, oh my god, because both of them are super powerful.
They're intense people, and even though he's smaller than The Rock. He is known for his intense characters.
His smoldering stare.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dwayne The Rock.
No. I mean not. No, I mean the other guy.
The other guy, yeah. Both of them are known for their like intensity with their,
Just with it. You have to feed him.
Tamagotchi.
You have to feed him.
Tamagotchi.
You gotta feed him, man.
We can cut away while I feed
No one knows where he is. What other thing I want to bring up? I want to bring up that we have the city, what's gonna go with the city and just go right to the ending almost, but like the airplane scene, but George is in captivity and they turn on the mechanism that draws out the the freaking fucking.
It's they're all programmed with
Rampage.
sonar from bat DNA, and it makes them all crazy, and they have to go towards the center of the city to where the radio tower is.
And George is on a freaking plane, and he breaks out of his cage and ends up just punching, destroying, ripping everything apart. And at this time,
it was filmed very well, like with really long, continuous shots. Long takes, and just where destruction is happening, and the camera's moving through the space. Really cool stuff.
He did they did so much shit in that thing. The guy I was just describing before, the cowboy guy, I swear to God, he should have fucking died. Yeah. There's a spot where he lands on one of these crates and he just looks dead, and then they blow a hole in the wall of the plane, and he just flips over like a rag doll. Like he was just actually like a dead body, just whoop.
Yeah, we thought he was dead. That was what I was saying in the movie.
But he didn't. He didn't. The Rock ends up saving him, and they shoot out the back end of the plane. But let's jump into the major the battle scene. Like, how'd you enjoy that just Colossus battle of those guys?
Yeah, it was amazing. Everything was amazing. Like, it was kind of like a Godzilla movie where you just want to see buildings get destroyed. You want to see shit blowing up. Falling to the ground. The way that the main building sort of falls is so epic. Everything about it was epic, and it was filmed well.
It was filmed well. It wasn't bad. It was, I get it. CGI is used a lot, but what are you gonna do when you're filming 3 giant monsters? One is a dog still, like a wolf, and one's a freaking alligator dragging dinosaur monster. And you cannot pull that off as a costume and do what they had to do. Go back and watch the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s Godzillas. Do it right now. Just pause it and watch all of them.
Welcome back. Now that you've watched all of the Godzilla movies, all 38 Godzilla movies.
Is it 38?
It's like something like that.
Holy shit, that's still a lot. I'm a fan. I haven't watched all of them. I still have like a period that I haven't watched of their movies. It was like one every or 2 almost every year almost. That shit. But it's just like you couldn't go wrong with it. Like with that whole fight scene, like you couldn't do like costume people. Like if you're gonna bitch and complain that CGI is meant for this movie.
I feel like CG, this is the place to use it. Usually I have issues with CG, but in something like this, like you're destruction. It like looked pretty good. I thought it looked pretty good. Destruction looks good in CG. I think they do a good job with the apes and Planet of the Apes. The apes look good. The apes look great in this.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes like the wolf looked a little funky, and some of the stuff looked weird. The physics of stuff was weird, but like overall, I thought it was done well enough.
Who doesn't have an issue with CGI? Come on.
What did you think of the final battle?
The final battle was fucking epic. There was non-stop action going on through the whole thing. But I really
very cool.
I just didn't think The Rock should have been in the whole fucking thing. You know?
Yeah.
It's just that he just...
Yeah, it seemed like
he's a small object
they
to these big, massive creatures.
It seemed like they forced him in there, you know, or he forced himself to be part of it. Like, they needed that human connection. He couldn't just have left for a long time, and then we just duked it out. Like, he needed to be there. I feel like the company or someone thought he needed to be there.
It's just...
what do you think? Do you think if he wasn't there, it would have... Like, I kind of feel like he could have not been there.
I could have felt he couldn't have been there, like, straight up. He shouldn't, like...
He shouldn't have been
He shouldn't have been there. He should have been, like, doing something else, like, helping people.
Ooh, yeah, right?
Helping George out. George, I understand George is, like, his best friend, ape buddy, and all that junk, but, like... He doesn't have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
even like, I'm thinking of... It reminded me of the battle in the third Transformers movie where like everyone
Sam's
dies.
trying to freaking kill everyone.
Sam is like trying to go after like an Allspark or some shit like that, and he's up on the top of some buildings, and the buildings are like crashing, and Megatron is there.
Oh, he's trying to shoot the freaking the gateway portal thing, the last spear, like the thing.
Yeah.
He has to shoot that, and they had to blow it all up so the Cybertron wouldn't come. Not Cyber. No, it is. Cybertron is the world, right?
Yeah, Cybertron. Sure.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it is. It's coming down onto Earth instead of doing that. That's how you.
Yeah, you know. So he was busy doing something, and then the mecha battle was happening.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like something like that could happen here. But no, he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He needed to be there and fight with the kaijus, you know.
And do his thing. I still don't think he should have been there.
Can we consider them kaijus? Like, I think kaiju means giant monster.
It is. It's a giant monster.
Giant
Physically, that's what Godzilla is. Godzilla is a kaiju.
Uh-huh.
So
these guys are kaiju.
Kaijus. They're physically... I wouldn't consider George considered a kaiju. He's just a giant ape. Because, like, every other... All three...
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Definitely Lizzie was...
Lizzie was a kaiju. Ralph was definitely a kaiju because he was a porcupine / flying squirrel / wolf.
Oh man, when he
did the whip around,
of course he can fly.
Yeah, he did the whip around. And it was like fuck.
Yeah, that was straight up cool. He kept on having new stuff too. He had like the porcupine quills, and he whipped them at the helicopters. And then you had the flying squirrel technique. Amazing.
I want to know if there's more to him than just those things. I feel like we should just make a Ralph movie.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Just no, Jesus Christ. There's already one out there.
Oh man.
No, like just do like a side thing. Like, what was Ralph doing before he just decided to turn tail and go back to Chicago? No, that'd be another story. But freaking Lizzie was literally a freaking boar, shark, alligator, dragon, dinosaur thing. He didn't fly, but he liked to climb and bury through buildings.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's how he took out. That's how that main building went down. Is that he just nuzzled his way through the building.
There was a moment where Matt and I were wondering where the hell the other monsters were because
it was just George.
George got to the top and was beating the shit out of the antenna, and then where was everybody else? They seemed like their pace. They would have got there. But they were just hanging out, busy destroying the rest of the building, I guess.
That's one flaw of it all. Like, we literally saw, like, Lizzie was halfway up the building. George was about, like, almost 3/4. Ralph was, like, climbing other buildings and then hopping on the building and just more, like, going his way. It was just, like, it was almost could have been, like, all of them could have been there, but, like, Lizzie ended up doing the whole, I'm gonna just say, I'm going in the building. And fuck it. I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And then Ralph, I don't know what Ralph was.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was getting a smoke.
Yeah. And so I was comparing the battle was epic, you know. It was the coolest.
It was probably one of the coolest battles of like the movies that came out lately.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it was one of the most memorables. Like, I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while.
I can't wait until 2.
Yeah, until 2 comes out. But I was comparing it to Pacific Rim, and just like I was sort of disappointed with how slow, like there would be the wind up, and then they would punch the monster, and they would like fall really slow and dramatic.
Well, Pacific Rim was meant for like more dramatic, like stuff. I remember watching behind the scenes. The director wanted kaiju's, like people actually making the characters actually look like they're actual people in costumes, but he wanted still a dramatic effect to your monster abilities.
Yeah, I like this one a little bit more, just as my style. I think that it's cooler for them to move faster and beat each other up at super speeds. I think it's really cool. Like in the Man of Steel. That one, the
when he just wrecks the whole city. Oh, the female
that would go.
Oh god!
Like that was so cool. That was my favorite. That was like my favorite part of the movie.
Just a chick beating up Superman.
Yeah, she was like fast. Like she was like powerful. I thought that she was like, dangerous because of how fast she moved. And I thought that was something that they brought in here.
It was, oh god, the whole fight. I'm just gonna say the death scene of Ralph is just depressing. He was the first one to be KO'd, done, knocked out, done.
But even though he was the first one to go out, it was the way that he went out was the coolest thing ever.
Death roll.
It was badass.
There's a lot of people that are gonna agree with me. There's no such thing as a death roll in that scene. There was definitely a death roll. That's what alligators do. But it was just, oh god, I thought, the way is like, to me, the characters, like, in the, if you play Nintendo, I know the game came out for like arcade, I believe, style gaming, then went to Nintendo, I think there's an NES game, but I played the Nintendo 64 games, and I remember the first one ended, and then you get captured by the government, and then you're just in government holding all three of them in different areas, and the new up-and-coming people have to save you from your government captured areas. Then once you unlock the if you're the rat and you unlocked George, you can play as George now throughout the multiplayer or story mode.
Yeah. That's
how I was expecting the ending of this movie was gonna be. I didn't think no one was gonna die. I thought they were gonna be severely hurt or something bad. Like they were gonna find a way to tranquilize them with those antidote needles, and that was supposed to put them in sleep mode.
Oh yeah, but absolutely
there's death. This movie is a friend with death.
So what we said with Jumanji was that movie had a lot of action, and the action was good because it was kind of like video game.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie was the same way. It was fun. It was clear. You could see what was going on with the action, always.
Yeah.
It made it amazing.
I didn't get the feeling of a video game to it.
No, not really.
Okay, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in Doom. That had a storyline and all that stuff. Rock was an evil asshole that at the end of the movie turns bad, ends up dying. If you haven't seen this movie, where have you been? But that's one movie you should go and watch now, too. But, you should... But that movie didn't have that's one thing. That movie didn't have a video game feeling either until what's his name? The main guy ends up kind of dying, but he had the freaking was it
adrenaline?
Not adrenaline. It was the DNA from that alien species was put inside of him, and then he awakens because his blood type was the right one to work with the DNA and shit. And he just goes in that rampaging...
First person.
That's the first time I've ever seen first person ever.
That was awesome.
And it was just going around just killing things. I was that's the sight of video game to me. That was awesome. But this one I didn't see that much of being a video game. This was just flat out action.
I heard Dwayne The Rock Johnson say that he wanted to make it right. Doom, he was saying that it wasn't so good and that people weren't happy with it.
I was fine with it.
Some people love it, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I loved it. Even though it was his first going movies, his early on movies, I still liked it.
But,
it wasn't bad.
He was saying he wanted to, make things right and make a really good video game movie. So I could see, I don't know how much control he had with Jumanji, and I don't know how much control he had with this, but it really did seem like, they had a similar tone. It seemed like it was it almost seems like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, has a signature,
okay.
Or maybe it's just how the directors or creators go when they know that he's cast, they make it towards that. But this movie, it was good, you know. It was like it feels like if you're a video game fan and if you're a fan of Rampage, it's gonna be good for you. You know?
Oh, there was a lot of scenes I was like, yes. I felt like I was like just this kid watching his like childhood, actually like playing these games and just seeing these guys on a screen and like just be these like digital things that look like blobs sometimes, but like actually seeing them come to actual theaters and the freaking giant screen and actually look like an actual thing instead of these like concept things. Like, it was amazing just seeing actually these things come out. The funny thing is, like, I would expect like a dull moment.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that out of this.
Yeah,
I literally didn't get a dull moment. There was no like scene that got really, really slow. Even though like there were some scenes that actually did get slow, but like it never got slow. Like there's office scenes, and there was still fast pace to it because the sister was a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
The brother was like a scaredy cat to her. Like, it was basically a secretary, even though he's like part of like ownership of it.
You were always learning something new in any of the dull moments, like when it got quiet, you know, after a battle. Then Dwayne would like open up to the
chick.
The other actor.
The chick. I'll put her name right here.
And so there was always something new that you were learning, you know, and so even if it wasn't action at all times, there was information, you know. I thought it was good.
It was just like always filling you in.
I wonder if this is gonna be a movie that people consider one of the best video game adaptations.
I'm throwing it up there. Yeah. I'm literally throwing it up there.
I mean,
because I'm still waiting for the Gears of War movie to come out.
Yeah.
The Halo movie that's been like kicking around.
Yeah, both of those could be very good.
You know, the funny thing is, I looked those up. Peter Jackson was supposed to work on the Halo one, and then there was supposedly some other guy who was supposed to do the Gears of War one, but Microsoft kept on just setting it up and then dropping it down, setting it up and just screwing around.
I hear that some of the work that Peter Jackson did on Halo is going to be put towards the new one that he's doing. It's like something Gears
of War.
No. But like out of all of the other, like, what's your favorite video game movie?
Favorite video game movie? Shit. Mario. No,
absolutely.
That's not my favorite one. It's one of my favorite ones that I have to go to. Like if I want to laugh and like have fun, it's just that movie was a terrible.
That's
thing,
one of the things with all of us, Matt, and everyone at BatYard. I think we like some cheese. We like some bad movies.
I how much as everyone hates on it, I have to say I do love it. I do like watching it and just laughing on how it went. It's just like, it was iconic. It was like a startup. Yeah. But like, I have to say, best favorite movie, I don't want to say Ready Player One because that's a montage of everything. It's literally, because that just came out this year too.
Yeah, it's also new.
And I would say, I'm going with Doom.
Doom. I don't know what my favorite one was.
The Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I didn't actually finish Assassin's Creed. Well, the one thing with Assassin's Creed is I wanted it to be canon. And I was ignoring everything that said it wasn't canon. And I was like, nah, it can fit in universe. So I really like the story, the modern part of the story in Assassin's Creed. So I couldn't like deal with having a new just like non-canon storyline. Yeah. You know.
I hear you.
But I really liked I didn't like it. The Prince of Persia movie.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was like
trash.
Yeah.
When the snake comes out of the sand and all that stuff, I just didn't like that.
Yeah, it was shitty. It was shitty. So I don't know. It's like, so one thing that people say sometimes is like the Scott Pilgrim.
That's considered a video game movie.
Yeah, it is. And so like,
the way it is,
damn good movie. You know,
when he killed things, points came up, and like all these little features, things came up and everything. It's considered a movie, a video game movie.
Yeah.
This is considered a movie too.
I would have to think about it. Words, Mateo.
That's words. I'm still amazed by this movie. I just saw it Monday, right? So
yeah,
it's Wednesday. I'm still amazed with it, just seeing how it all is.
Yeah.
Just how it just all came together. It worked. I love Rampage. I love the games. If you haven't seen this movie yet, if you haven't seen this movie in theaters, go see it. If you guys finally see this podcast when it's on DVD and Blu-ray, just rent it. Do something with it and just see how it is. Just Get out there and watch
It's a really good movie for like having a fun time if you're having friends with you, or like if you're going on a date or something. You know, I feel like there's no.
If your date likes murders and like monsters that like.
If you're going with
crazy.
with like your professor or like really pretentious people, maybe not. You know, don't go to it. But I feel like that rarely happens. I feel like for the most part, it's PG-13. You know.
Well, George does suggest.
Right. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Transformers, because the first one, it was like PG-13, but there was like some suggestive stuff, and there was like some partial cursing.
Wasn't there a scene when what's his name, Bumblebee, ends up pissing on somebody?
Yeah.
So like that's like a little fucking weird. Like a robot literally just pop. I remember somebody shoots out of his crotch actually, and he starts pissing.
Yep.
This is like, what the fuck? That's PG-13.
Yeah, you know. So you know, it was just, it's a good time movie.
It is. I'm putting it out there. If I won, I'm still keeping in my rating is at an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Because I enjoy it. So. You got any final words instead of just montaging with my final words?
No, man. Your final words are the bomb.
Awesome. No, we're not sponsored by Pepsi either. Okay.
Or Arizona.
Shh. Maybe one day with that one. But if you haven't seen this movie, go see it. Have a good night. See you guys later.
Thank you for watching BatYard.